It's time for another Mama Says Namaste video, and this one is ironically on the topic of technology and screen time. Man, I have been getting so many coaching applications in lately, and one of the questions I ask is, what is something that you struggle with as a family? And the consistent theme has been too much screen time. Now, if you go out in public, you can really quickly see how this is not just something in one individual's home, but we see this everywhere. We see this as people are walking around in the beautiful outdoors with their head down, looking on their phone. And I know even for me, it's really hard to navigate sometimes not grabbing my phone to capture every moment and to take a picture, but actually just to be in the moment and just enjoy it. So, how do you navigate that? How do you keep technology from taking over? I am a fan of technology. I am very grateful for it. It's allowed me a location-independent lifestyle for my family and I. I'm able to coach from anywhere in the world because of the beauty of video conferencing, so we can be as close to in the room together as we can and have face-to-face interaction to really engage. And I'm able to do podcasts and video and blogging and be able to share things and connect with a much broader audience because of technology. Computers are a part of so much, and I feel like not teaching our children about them robs them of a huge part of what our culture and our society is based on at this point. And there are too many times that this is going to be necessary in their lives, whether they choose to go a traditional route or not, in a corporate setting or a traditional going to college and moving on from there. Computers are going to be vital with the way that colleges are set up. You have to understand how to use it. On top of that, as an entrepreneur, I've had many entrepreneurs that I have worked with where their biggest fear is, I have no idea how to do a website, or I don't know how to do graphics. I can't figure this stuff out. So equipping and teaching our children these things can be very powerful. I asked my husband Nathan what his viewpoint was on screen time, and he said, it's not about the screen time. That's not what the question is. It's what's your reason for it? What's the goal behind it? Why are you using screen time in your house? Are you using it to bring something positive in, or has it just become the norm and a habit? Or even worse, has it become the addiction? And the first thing you're doing when you wake up in the morning is checking your phone. And the TV becomes a constant theme in the background. I've unfortunately seen a lot of families where that has become the norm, that the news is playing constantly in the background, or sports. I just had a camper that parked next to us a few weekends ago, and they had a huge flat screen TV on the outside kitchen of their fifth wheel. And from 7:30 in the morning until about 10:30 at night, every single day that they were there for 4 days, they had the news or sports playing. And it was just incessant in the background, even as they're camping in nature. So what's the point of that? What energy does that bring into your home? I'm really careful about what comes into our home and what we are filtering through. Not because we want to live in a bubble, but because we want to be very intentional about the positive energy that comes into our household. And if you followed me for long, you know I've discussed this even with the fact that when my husband and I have dealt through some tough times in our lives, that we have a lot of those conversations. We used to have a lot of those conversations out on our back porch, not in our home. And that was very intentional because we want to keep our home a safe haven and a sanctuary of peace and love. You turn on the news and you see a lot of violence. Who murdered who? What war is going on? What latest drama is going on in politics? There is so much negativity and anger and frustration and hatred that is fed through the media. That's something that I don't want to have in my house, especially not as the background theme music of our lives. So think about what parameters you're putting on it. And below this, I've attached a fun printable that's got some just technology rules that we have in our household for how to use it in a positive way. And what it boils down to is we use technology for 3 things. It is to educate, it is to enrich, and it is to inspire. So if our technology allows for our kids to learn something, Clara loves documentaries. She has a little iPhone and she does Duolingo app, the Duolingo app on it, where she's learning a new language, and she absolutely loves it and has really picked it up fast. She's learning editing and movie editing and how to make music on GarageBand and editing photos through different apps. And she's doing all of this through her website and through using an iPhone and using an iPad, and we have different resources for that. Educating them is powerful, and my kids know very well which shows are educational and which shows are not. And then we have the enrichment aspect of it. Sometimes we're doing something because it's a super funny thing. We watch America's Funniest Home Videos, and it's funny, and we're doing it together, and we're laughing about it, and it's just a good time to let off some steam from maybe a stressful day. And that's okay. We can add that. And then the third thing is inspire. It's exposing our kids and us to a new way of thinking, a new culture, or lifestyle that may motivate us, encourage us, give us empathy, give us compassion, some things like that that really, again, add to our life. Technology is there to add, not to detract. And when it becomes a detraction, and whenever it comes before a personal relationship, that is where the issue is. But if you are using it as one tool to expose your children to some more powerful ways to learn, to enrich their lives, to inspire, then technology can be a positive thing. Set parameters in your household. Make a decision on what time you're going to invest in technology and things that are behind a screen versus what's right there in front of your face. And know that you are the biggest example of this, and your children are watching you, and what you do gives them permission to follow in your footsteps. So if you want to curb your children's screen time, make sure that you are doing it by example, not simply by voice. I hope that this has been helpful. I'd love to hear from you what your comments are and how you navigate screen time. Share with us some of your favorite apps or shows or different online resources that you love, that you feel really has added to your family. And I would love to hear from you below. Namaste.